Hi, I'm Norm. I work for Crutchfield. Today we're going to show you how to wall mount a TV. What we have here is a TV we've already taken out of the box. It's brand new. And the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to mount what these are called the verticals. And they're going to get mounted to the TV. This is what the TV actually hangs off of. And in this particular one, there is an adjustment knob. It's important that when you hook the verticals, that the knobs are facing on the outside, not the inside. Much easier if the knobs are on the outside, you can just reach from the side, adjust it. If they're on the inside, you got to reach up from underneath, and it's kind of awkward. So you'll need a Phillips screwdriver. And on most TVs, there'll be 4 mounting holes, pretty much all TVs. So you want to make sure that when you're putting this on here, that the bottom edge or the verticals are not sticking out past. Works fine, just doesn't look good. So on a lot of TVs, there is a shipping screw that's designed to protect the back of the panel. Remove those, you're not going to use them. And I'm using a Phillips screwdriver, not a flat blade screwdriver. In the box that these came in, there's also a long assortment of nuts and bolts screws. Out of all of these, you're only going to use 4 of them. All the rest of these are extras. And they're all different sizes and lengths and stuff like that. So one of the things you have to be careful of when you are finding which set of screws, see where I just took and I just hand tightened the screw down? See how much of the gap is remaining? There's a metal stop that's designed to prevent the screw from going any further in there. One of the things you got to keep in mind is that do not take your Phillips screwdriver and keep cranking, because it'll go through the stop and into the back of the screen, and you've just bought yourself a TV. So one of the things that happens fairly often is that the manufacturers of the TV wall mounts will give their best guess as to what will work. And so we took a few minutes to find the right combination of spacers so that they would physically hold these in. So this turned out to be the right combination for us. So one of the things I do is that there's different slots in the thing. I'll actually push it all the way up so that I know that I'm as far as I can go. That way I know that these are the exact same height. And the reason why that's important is so that when you go to hang the TV on the wall, the TV's level is not cockeyed one way or the other. After I've tightened it, I actually go around one more time and just make sure that I haven't missed one. These are used to lock the TV to the wall so you can't accidentally hit it with your shoulder or something like that. And to unlock it, you actually just push these down just a little bit. What we're going to do now is mount the horizontal piece. And this, a lot of the mounts, the horizontal piece, which goes on the wall, and this is what the TV actually hooks on. Not all of them, but a lot of the TV wall mounts, they'll have literally cut into it a little triangle pointing, and this points up. And the other indicator is that the label is done, so if you have it upside down, you can't read it. So have it right side up. You're going to take, and this is popped in, and you know that the verticals are mounted on the TV and they're centered left to right. You take the horizontal, make sure it's centered left to right. And then you take zip ties, and you want to put the zip ties on there tight enough that it takes some work to slide the bracket left to right. So now, if my assistant will come over here for a second and lift it up from the bottom a little bit, and top, and rotate. And one of the things, I'm gonna, see I've got it on my shoulder right here, so you've got the balance. Don't let the thing flip over. You do not remove these packing materials, because one of the things that I did, but I don't think that I mentioned it to Jim, was I actually washed my hands to get rid of the naturally occurring oils on your finger. It's easy to get off, but the less you can put it on the screen, the less it is to take care of it. So I'll just reach over and put a mark and go ahead and put her back down. So we now know where the TV is going to get mounted on the wall. We're actually going to pop these back off, and we're actually going to go through the process of mounting the horizontal piece. And a little set of nippers can be anything. And pop, pop, and. So now what we're going to do is, with my helper again, if you'll hold this and see where it's right there. And we're going to do a little bit of exploring to see where the studs are. So you slide it to the right and see how it's starting to show that there's something there, and it'll turn. And then if you go, now there's an actual stud right here. As you keep going back, it'll start disappearing again as you go off the other side. So that's pretty close. That's actually almost perfect. One of the things I do, rather than draw a pencil mark, is I just use regular painter's tape, and because you can just peel it back off. Glasses. There you go. So I know that I'm pretty close to right here. And you can also flip it upside down. So you'll see this particular one's a red arrow, so I'm just going to slide it over a little bit and bring her down. The reason why I started doing this particular technique, I was putting a TV in for a client 4 or 5 years ago and was not happy that I was drawing pencil marks on the wall. So see how it's lined up? And then if you come the other side, so that's pretty close. What we can do is here, we're actually going to slide the mount a little bit this way, because I know that the bolt will actually drill in right here. So, and then the other one, let's do this. There you go. So now, if you look here, I know the stud's on this side, but I've got solid metal. So I'm actually going to slide this a little bit more. So remember how I said that you can have the horizontal piece off center from where the TV is, but because you can put the verticals and slide it, it doesn't matter that this is off center. You can also have a bolt here and a bolt here and nothing on this side. It's plenty strong. So here, if you are comfortable putting pencil marks on the wall, you do not need to do this. But if you got somebody that doesn't want it, then definitely do this. See where it lit up? Come in from the other side. So I know that my studs are right there, and then you can just peel it back off. So one of the things that happens is, in the same kit that comes with the wall mount, you're going to get 4 lag bolts. And you want to pre-drill, and what you do is, you want a drill bit that is small enough that if you hold it up, that you can actually see the threads on both sides. Cordless drill works great for this. And one of the things you do is you drill only as deep as it's going to go in. So sometimes on this particular case, the drill bit's a little bit too long, but so let me show you this. Here. So in this particular case, I'm only drilling, like I'm still going to leave about this much of it out. You don't have to, but it's a good idea. So and you put the drill, if it's 2 speeds, you put it on the faster speed. Forgot something. One of the things that happens is in a home rather than a warehouse, I would have a drop cloth here to pick up any debris or stuff like that. And the other thing that I do is I'll just take a piece of just same kind of painter's tape, and I'll actually put it right below and have it hanging out a little bit, and it'll grab some, not all the sheetrock dust that falls down. And sometimes I do a combination. So now when you're drilling, I actually drill slightly downhill, just a little bit, and it's not much, like 4 or 5 degrees, so that if by any chance I happen not to go completely in the stud and the TV wants to pull away, this is very, very unlikely. The TV mount's got to go uphill, so it's just a little margin of safety. So high speed. And then socket wrench, socket on here. I've got rhythm. Okay, so now, once you've got this almost all the way down, you would take a level, and this is a level that actually has a magnetic strip on the bottom, and you just put it right there, and helper is going to raise it up so that you want the bubble not only between the lines, but dead center between the lines. So I've tightened this down enough that I could still do this, and I'm going to go crank it a little bit more. And as you feel this thing starting to tighten up, stop. And he's still going to stay there. I look to make sure the bubble's still in the center. I grab my drill, still on high speed, and I drill this side. And I'm drilling slightly downhill. Sorry. I look, it's still perfectly centered in here. Then drill the 2 bottom ones. Same idea. Up very slightly. And then once I pull form down, I actually go through just one time just to make sure that they're all, and I actually physically just reach up and just make sure all the washers are tight. So mounts on the wall. So now we take the TV, and we're actually gonna literally just hang it on the wall. When we do that, these knobs that are here, I loosen them up and I bring it back like this. Yep. And then tighten it back up just a little bit, just enough so there's a little bit of friction. There you go. Keep in mind I've washed my hands. Hold on. And this time, and remember the 2 levers on the bottom, one of each vertical for snapping it in? We're gonna pull and it just snaps into place. The next step would be to turn it on, power up, do the setup, stuff like that. If you've got more questions, totally cool to call us, email, chat. We're glad to help. We've been doing this a long time, and this is just really fun stuff to have in your house. Thank you very much.